Welcome everybody to the online product training that we're going to be doing for the team, for the global team, for the global go-getters team tonight. The idea is very much for you guys to have a quick overview of our range of products, so you are in a position where even if you are not quite yet experienced at using the products, at least you will know what they are, why they are so special, what do they do, who do they help, and you will probably also hear a few stories along the way of people that have benefited from those products. Okay. However, before we go on to the products, it makes lots of sense to me, especially for the people who've been with us for just a few days, a few weeks, even a few months, people who might have not yet seen several product launches or full presentations of the products and the opportunity. It might make sense for you guys to get to hear what is aloe vera, what aloe vera does, why is it so special, and why do Forever Living products are so good. Okay, so let's start with what is aloe vera. Well, aloe vera is not something that has just come out of the ground a few weeks or months or years ago and decided to be good for mankind. Aloe vera has been known by mankind for thousands and thousands of years. You can see here Cleopatra, Nefertiti, the Egyptian queens were very keen on applying it on their skin. It's also very known that Alexander the Great conquered islands and territories while he was in his conquest in order to basically get the aloe fields and the aloe vera that was in those parts of the world, so it could actually help with the wounds of his wounded soldiers. So actually, people 3,000–4,000 years ago were already very keen advocates of aloe vera. Now the problem with aloe vera is, just like a banana or just like an avocado, if you open it up, very quickly it starts to get brown because it contains lots and lots of nutrients, and it gets oxidated very quickly. So for thousands of years, mankind has only been able to use aloe vera straight off the plant, straight by cutting a leaf and applying it instantly, because within a matter of a few hours the leaf itself was going to perish and no longer be good. Very few people at the time knew about the goodness of drinking aloe vera, but most people actually knew about its effects on the skins for a long period of time. Just to give you an example, a quick example, in Japan, aloe vera is called Itza Iratsu. So it's spelled I-T-Z-A I-R-A-S-U. Itza Iratsu. Do you know what Itza Iratsu means? The meaning in Japanese of Itza Iratsu is no need for a doctor. That just gives you an idea that in Japan they knew for a very long period of time that that plant had massive medicinal properties. You know, the nicknames for aloe vera are quite various. If you actually go to the Caribbean, it's called the burn plant. In some of the islands of the Caribbean, it's called the wand of heaven. In places like Sri Lanka and India, it is called as the plant of life. In another part of the world, it's called as heaven's blessing. There is another part of the world where it's called the medicine plant, and it's also known as the silent healer and the wonder plant. So all around the world, the nicknames for that plant gives you an idea of how good it is and how well known its properties are. And that has been the case for thousands of years. Okay, so the only problem was, in order to benefit from the goodness of aloe vera, you needed to be part of a region of the world where the plant grows, which tends to be primarily around sort of the dry, sort of desertic, semi-desertic areas of the world. We're talking about some parts of the Caribbean, Mexico, the south of the United States, the south of Spain, the north of Africa, Greece, all the Middle East, and going down towards India, Sri Lanka, and maybe even some parts of Australia. Okay, so this is basically where the plant was able to be used, but if you actually lived outside of this area, you had absolutely no access to the plant whatsoever. Now in 1978, two American scientists found a very natural organic way to actually stabilize the inner gel which comes from inside one of those leaves. And basically they did it using extracts of berries and fruits. So 100% natural and 100% organic way of doing it. And what happened is a gentleman called Rex Moon was clever enough at the time to buy the patent for the stabilization, what we call a cold stabilization of the inner gel of the plant. And ever since that day, he's become the only man in the world with a technical know-how on how to use the inner gel and how to stabilize it and keep it intact and alive for up to 4 years, which has allowed him and his company to develop countless amount of natural products that are all aloe vera based at its primary ingredient, and this company, as you obviously can imagine, is Forever Living. Okay, which has now allowed the whole of the world to be able to actually get to know aloe vera. You know, a few years ago, aloe vera was totally and utterly unknown completely from the United Kingdom. Why? Because trust me, with the kind of weather we're getting here, you're never going to get an aloe plant in this area. So people didn't know unless they were traveling to the Caribbean or to the south of Spain and got sunburnt, and then the locals would actually take a plant, open it in half and rub it on their shoulders. Except the people who actually had experienced this, nobody actually really knew about aloe vera. Okay, but when I mentioned that aloe vera is full of natural ingredients, natural nutrients, well, what you need to know about aloe vera is it contained altogether 75 known ingredients. Okay, it contains things like 14 different types of minerals, 13 different types of vitamins, including the B complex vitamins, which should not necessarily be found in plants. Usually they are more like found in meats and fish. It contains amino acids, out of which 19 of the 20 most elementary ones that the body needs to survive. It contains enzymes, both digestive and anti-inflammatory enzymes. It contains sugar, both monosugar and monosaccharides and polysaccharides. It contains salicylic acid, which is basically the equivalent of aspirin, which helps obviously with anti-inflammatory and painkiller effect. It contains, let me just think about it, saponins, which are cleansing and which have cleansing and antiseptic properties. It contains lignin, which is basically a substance that helps anything penetrate really deep into the skin and the cellular levels. Basically, it contains loads and loads and loads and loads of things that actually make it such a powerful plant. Okay, so as a result, in terms of health properties, if you have a pen and paper, you're very welcome to write those down. But basically, it is a natural anti-inflammatory, which obviously helps reducing inflammation, reducing infections. It is a natural anti-analgesic. Sorry, it's a natural analgesic. Analgesic means that it actually relieves the pain. It is basically like an anti-inflammatory, but it relieves straight away the pain, which is why when you burn yourself and you put some aloe straight away on your skin, very quickly the pain from the burn is going to disappear. It takes it straight away out. Anti-inflammatory is actually reducing the inflammation. It's an antiviral. It's an antifungal, so it obviously kills all kind of fungal infections you might have, particularly maybe on the feet, or some people actually got them in other parts of the body that I'm not going to discuss because it's not really nice. It's a natural antiseptic. It cleans and cleanses all the surfaces. It's an antipyretic. Antipyretic means that it reduces or even kills any kind of sense of itchiness. So this is why when you actually get I don't know, itchy skin, or when you put your hands in nettles, and you put aloe vera straight on it, the antipyretic side of it will get rid straight away of the pain and the itching side. It's a bactericide. It kills all kind of bacteria. You will see that in the products that we have, it's very, very useful to have a bactericide. It obviously provide essential micronutrients. We've just explained all the macronutrients that it contains, but your body needs them to survive, and your body needs them to cleanse, to regenerate, to do all the sort of functions that your body needs. So it's a great source of those micronutrients. Another thing that it does is it promotes cell growth and cell regeneration. It stimulates cell division, which obviously, if it stimulates cell division, that means it helps the cells to grow and multiply, which is fantastic for skin conditions, for scarring, if in case you got a wound. Another thing that it does is it penetrates tissue very deeply. And because it's both a great cleanser and a great moisturizer, it cleanses to the deepest layers of your derma, but it also moisturizes to the deepest layers of your derma. And one of the things that it does is, because it's got lignin in it, it actually takes anything that you mix with it all the way to the cellular level of your skin, where the new cells are being created. So if you actually mix any kind of additional components to aloe vera, it will basically take it where the new cells are being created. Okay? Now, one of the questions that you might want to ask yourself is, why forever aloe? And there's lots and lots of aloe vera available around the world. You can go into health shops and find some aloe vera juice. You can go to the supermarket and see that they even put aloe vera in toilet paper or in washing up liquid. So why would our products be superior or better or different from all the other products out there? Well, for the start, because of the patented stabilization process that the company is obviously owning, that prevents any other companies to be able to use aloe vera the way we do it. And the way we do it is we only use the gel from within the leaf, because that's the bit that contains all the goodness. The outer rind and the this is extremely bitter. Basically the skin of the leaf is extremely bitter and has absolutely no health properties whatsoever. The goodness is the gel that you see, the translucent gel that you see inside that particular leaf, and we only use it and we don't use the rest of the leaf. If you actually see the gentleman with the orange t-shirt, what he does is he does what we call filleting. He fillets the leaf manually. It's not done by machine. It's every single leaf is filleted manually, which allow him to really only scoop the inside gel of that leaf. Okay. From the start, we have never ever used any pesticide, herbicide. It's always been GM free. Also, it's we never ever use artificial flavoring or artificial colorants. Okay, so what you see is what you get with our products. And one of the things that is very interesting is some people sometimes say, well, in some bottles you say it's 98% pure aloe vera gel. In the other in another bottle it might be 96%. Why is there a difference? Well, the difference is it's done manually and each plant is different. And on top of that, we have plants which grow in Mexico, in Arizona, in Texas, in the Dominican Republic, and now we even have some in the Philippines. Guess what? In regards to climate, in regards to the ground, in regards, every single plant will have different, ever so slightly different properties because of what that plant has experienced throughout its life in terms of the nutrition of the soil, in terms of the weather, and in terms of the way it's been processed. So basically, every product that you get from us guarantees some top quality, but every product might be ever so slightly different because they come from different parts of the world, and each plant itself, even in the same crop, each plant is actually different. So this is very important for you to realize that each one of our aloe vera bottle, for example, may taste ever so slightly different one from the other, may contain ever so slightly different nutrients inside them, but overall they are the real deal. They are the absolute beauty of our aloe vera products. Independent tests prove that our aloe in our bottle or the aloe in our tube, and I'm going to come with some of the products in a few minutes. The aloe which is inside the bottle or inside the tube is essentially active as if it was inside the plant. And that is because of the patented stabilization process. Instead of having a warm or hot stabilization process that would actually kill a lot of the properties of the plant, we have a cold stabilization process which keeps intact every single property that the gel inside the plant can have and keep the gel active, almost alive if you want. And we joke inside Forever saying that inside the bottle of gel or inside the tube of aloe vera jelly, the gel itself doesn't know if it's still in the plant or in the plastic tube. Okay, so that's very much how alive the gel is and why it is so good. Okay. Finally, why aloe vera products? Well, first, we have a phenomenal advisory board which contains a GP, the gentleman on the left, called Peter Atherton, which is one of the most renowned expert on aloe vera worldwide, by far the #1 expert on aloe vera in Europe, somebody who went to Oxford to do 2 years of studies of the effects of aloe vera on human skin, and somebody who has practiced for over 25 years as a GP and realized that some of the products that Forever had were actually much better than what he was giving to his patients for some of the skin conditions. That gentleman has now read, has obviously been to Oxford and has now written a couple of books on aloe vera and is regarded as one of the world's leading experts on the subject. On the right-hand side, you've got a vet called David Urch, who is not only a vet but also a farmer using the products on his own farm, having basically got a list long like your arm of all the qualifications for as a vet surgeon, and basically understanding all the effects that aloe vera can have on our furry and on our feathery friends. Okay, now this gentleman, to give you an example on how phenomenal his knowledge on aloe is, that gentleman was flown by the Olympic team, equestrian Olympic team, to Beijing in 2008 to actually provide the horses with the right level of nutrition, particularly drinking aloe vera gel. So that gentleman is one of the top experts in his field in the whole world as well. And in the middle, you've got Dawn Parker. Some of you will get to know her, particularly if you go to some of her trainings. She's basically a lady with multiple hats, but #1 hat when she started the business was she's a nutritional therapist. So she's absolutely a world-leading expert on nutrition. She's also phenomenally qualified as a beautician. So she can actually do all the sort of health and beauty products in our range. And on top of that, recently, she's also specialized in weight management and dieting, and that allow her to provide some of the greatest trainings you can get on weight management. On top of that, we've got another lady, which is not on the picture, called Louise Riley, which is primarily she basically was a beauty therapist, and she is the biggest expert we can find in Forever in the cosmetics and makeup, but also has now developed an additional career in being a great expert as well on the sports nutrition side. So we've got 4 people providing us with fantastic training material, marketing material, publications that we can actually get into our hands, and most importantly, fantastic training, because none of us, when we started the business, had a degree in aloe vera or a degree in natural health. Okay, some of you might, but I didn't. And all that I know now comes from those people. And finally, for me, the most important part of why Forever Aloe is the fact that we have an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee on every single one of our products. And that gives distributors like myself, like yourself, a great platform of integrity and peace of mind when you actually recommend products to customers or potential customers, because you know that if it doesn't work on them, they can simply send a tube back or a bottle back. Even if it's half empty or completely empty, we will give them their money back without even asking questions. And that is absolutely awesome. 6 years, almost 6 years in the company, I have never had to send a product back to the company